So after a lot of comparisons and extensive testing, I finally felt it was time to share my Tab S6 full review and go over, all of its aspects, design, display, battery life, camera, and performance in order to help you decide whether this device is right for you. But before we continue here, I'd really appreciate it if you'd leave a like on this video, comment if you have any questions, suggestions, or opinions, as the algorithm likes that and will help push my content to more people. So without wasting any more time here, let's jump into my full review of the Galaxy Tab S6. So beginning with design here, the one word that comes to mind when I play around with the Tab S6 is that it's really solid and made out of really great build materials here. It's full metal construction, it has this industrial slab look, very similar to the iPad Pro. And while this device lacks a headphone jack, it has a really awesome set of quad speakers made by AKG. They're loud, they're bassy, and they're great for media consumption, like YouTube watching and music listening. We also have USB Type-C as the main input here, which is good for data connectivity and charging. We also have a micro SD card slot on the side here, which is really convenient, especially if you're someone who likes to do expandable storage and if you don't want to buy the biggest storage capacity outright. Also, the included S Pen here attaches to a little indent on the back magnetically and charges kind of similarly to the iPad Pro. It's pretty convenient, I will say. While this is not my favorite implementation of this concept, it does work quite well. And it's convenient because when you have the pen attached to the tablet on the back, when you put it down in landscape mode, it's not going to tilt or rock as it's, centered right here on the side of the tablet, and it adds a little bit of elevation, which could be nice for some typing. And last but not least, we have a little smart connector here and little indents or clips where you can add, the smart keyboard from Samsung if you want to purchase it. And before I forget to mention here, in terms of biometrics, there is an in-display fingerprint sensor, just like the one found in the S10 and the Note 10. And for the most part, it's pretty accurate and it offers a decent level of security if you're unlocking apps and just unlocking your device in general. But yeah, overall, I really do enjoy the design and aesthetic of the Tab S6. Once again, it feels really solid in the hand and is made out of awesome build materials. And for the price, you are getting what you're paying for. This is a really premium looking and feeling tablet. Moving on to display quality here, the Tab S6 has an excellent AMOLED panel with a resolution of 2560 by 1600, which means it does have a 16 by 10 aspect ratio. The brightness, color, contrast are excellent with this device, and the sharpness is decent too, as it has a pixel density of 287. I really do enjoy watching YouTube videos on this device, as the black bars are very minimal in contrast to like my iPad. So as you can see here, minimal black bars. The only gripe I do have about this display is that this aspect ratio is a little bit weird when it comes to keyboard scaling here. The keys are kind of tiny here, so if you want to type in this mode, you're going to probably want to hold it like a smartphone. And if you want to type in landscape mode, the keyboard is a little bit slim here, but totally usable, and you do have less screen real estate in comparison to something like an iPad, which does have a 4:3 aspect ratio display. But beyond those criticisms, this display is really excellent. It makes for a very great tablet experience. Once again, it's sharp, it's colorful, it's bright, and you're going to have absolutely no issues with it regardless of what you do. Moving on to battery life, I am not the go-to guy to give you the exact amount of screen on time, but what I can tell you is you can get through a day or two of work depending on what you're doing. Of course, with heavier stuff, you're going to drain it quicker, and with that, you do have supercharging included in the box, which is pretty convenient, I will say. But yeah, in my experience, I've been able to get through a day or two of light to medium, possibly even heavy usage, playing games, doing some, web surfing, note-taking. The components with this device, however, do accommodate decent screen on time. We have the Snapdragon 855, which is power efficient. Its AMOLED display also is power efficient, as black pixels can be turned off. So if you use a darker theme or a dark mode with this device, you're going to get better battery results. But yeah, once again, you should have no issues getting through a day or two of usage with this device, regardless of if you're playing around with this tablet, doing media consumption and gameplay, or if you're actually getting work done, jotting down some notes, typing up documents, etc. Next up, I want to talk about cameras with this tablet, and as I always say in my tablet reviews, I hope you're not that person who goes around with like an iPad or Samsung Galaxy Tab and is taking pictures at someone's birthday party, because this is not the device for that. Aesthetically, you're gonna look weird, and it's just not fit for that. The cameras in here are not gonna knock your socks off, but you do have a decent setup here. It's a dual lens or sensor setup. We have a wide angle lens and an ultra wide angle lens, both which, make for a pretty decent experience if you're taking pictures of mundane things like documents. So, you could be at your desk and you could use the ultra wide angle lens to get more of papers in view, so you don't have to get up. I know that sounds really lazy, but it's true. The wide angle lens should do pretty decent as well, but once again, don't anticipate, note level photo quality. The front camera is also pretty decent as well. Samsung actually gives you a megapixel count with this in their specifications page. It does have an 8 megapixel resolution, and you do get a wider angle field of view with that. So if you want to take, group selfies with your tablet, then you can go ahead and do that. But yeah, once again, this camera setup on this device isn't anything spectacular. However, it will get the job done for taking pictures of, once again, boring stuff around the office, around your school, and of course, for video chatting. And last but not least, let's talk about performance and software experience with this device. So the Tab S6 packs the Snapdragon 8150 mobile platform, which in other words is the Snapdragon 855 found in devices like the S10 and S10 Plus. It also comes with 6 to 8 gigabytes of RAM, depending on how much capacity you buy. I have 6 gigs here because I bought the 128 gig version. And One UI so far has been an exceptional smooth experience. I was really surprised here, especially when accompanied with a launcher like Nova. It just makes things look less clunky, and you can actually scale the apps smaller than the absurdly large size that you get with the One UI stock launcher. Apps open very quickly. I've had no trouble, with launch times, and animations are very smooth as well. And I've noticed very little hiccups, which is a really good sign that Samsung has really ironed out their user experience. And if there are any, I haven't really noticed them that often. One UI also packs a lot of, work-oriented, nifty little features, which do take advantage of the S Pen, which we'll talk about for a minute here. So I do really enjoy the fact this is, in the box with a tablet. So if you buy this as a student and you don't have any money left over, you can just begin taking notes without having to worry about buying an extra accessory. However, compared to like the Apple Pencil, it's not the most comfortable thing in the world. It's kind of flat. It's not the most comfortable if you want to, take notes for a really long extended period, but I have no problem with it. If I had to use it, I'd live with it and it'd be fine. There are included tips in the box. So you can change your writing experience from smooth to rough, which is pretty nice here. I have the sort of semi-rough one, I think, the one that's included in the pen when you take it out of the box. I have found writing and jotting notes down with the S Pen to be a pretty comfortable experience. Once again, it's a little bit rougher, which is nice because it kind of emulates a rougher surface like paper. Sketching is also pretty decent too, although you do have just a fine tip here. However, there are accommodations within software, so you can, like shade with this, pencil tool right here in Samsung Notes quite nicely. And you also do get pressure sensitivity with the S Pen, which is quite nice if you're doing, once again, some sketching and drawing. And I just want to quickly showcase that you can use the pen as like a magic wand to, swipe through camera settings and control some media aspects of the device. It is pretty gimmicky, but it is fun to use, I will admit. With that out of the way, let me demo some features here with this tablet, including the pen, that I find really useful. For example, here you can select text by, pinpointing where you want to select and just hold down on the side button with the pen in order to do that. So very convenient. You can copy and paste. And beyond having some other pen-oriented tasks like creating a new note, viewing notes in Samsung Notes, screen write, pen up, AR doodle, we have Smart Select, which can allow you to, highlight certain parts of your screen here, as you can see, and then you can, translate text, extract text, pin to screens. So this to me is just like an advanced version of Apple's screenshot software or menu, which is pretty cool, I have to say, especially as a student. Multitasking is pretty cool as well. We can open up full screen apps here and swipe in and add another one. So when we drag it in here, you can drag it in and have it as a popped up window. So it'll take a second and then we can, drag it around, make it split screen just like you would have on like an iPad. You can drag another app in. So let's drag in, the gallery, let's just say, and then we can have a floating window here, which is really cool. And this is something you cannot find with Apple's iPad OS, which I find kind of sad. I really do enjoy having this here, and you can minimize it and have it as like a little floating app, so you can put it around your screen when you're not using it. So say you were, I don't know, referencing a web page or some kind of app, you can just have it closed like this, have it at your disposal. You can tap on it, reference whatever you need to reference, and bam, you're done. You can close it and carry on with what you're doing. We also have the DeX experience, which I'll talk about here quickly. I absolutely love this concept, and I wish Apple would do something like this. But basically, it makes the One UI experience more like, Windows or a desktop operating system, so we can open up apps here, and they will open up in a windowed view. So if you're someone who wants to get work done like this, you will really enjoy this, especially with the keyboard case you can buy. I heard that it makes the experience even better and allows you to snap windows to particular parts of your display here. But yeah, I really do enjoy the multi-windowed view here that you can have. It makes you feel like you can get more done. I also like how things scale here, the size of the apps, the app drawer, the app switcher here. I just think it makes better use of this 10.5 inch display and just looks really phenomenal. So yeah, if you like the Samsung DeX experience, which by the way, you can plug into an external monitor or TV, plug in peripherals, and you can use this device like a PC. So if this is going to be your only device and you like the One UI DeX experience, definitely check this out at the store or pick it up. I think you will really like what Samsung has to offer here. And last up, I want to talk about what this tablet is capable of with the current app support here. So one of the things that I like to do with my tablet is take notes. So one app that I found really useful is Squid, which is a really decent note-taking app. So we can go in here. We have lined papers. So say you were in a class, so we can write out like a day, and we can, you know, start taking notes. So make a little bullet point, and you know, this is an important point. So as I said, it is a little bit rougher when you're writing on the display in comparison to, you know, the glossier tip or writing with like the Apple Pencil on the iPad Pro. So this kind of does emulate paper, which I do like, sort of like a notepad, and you can definitely take notes on here, especially with the built-in S Pen, which comes at no additional cost to you. And you can use this app alongside apps like OneNote and Evernote. OneNote I heard is pretty good, and you can sync that up across multiple devices. You can also do some photo editing here. I have Lightroom open here, which is available on both iOS and Android, and yeah, the experience is quite nice here. And yeah, if you take photos, you can connect an SD card to this device with the USB Type-C port, import photos, and go to town, you know, editing stuff on the go. You can also do some light video editing on here with apps like Premiere Clip, and in this case, Filmora Go by Wondershare, so you can, you know, scrub through like a picture or a photo and, you know, do some cropping and subtitling, and you can add a title and adjust the way the clip looks. However, I will say, if you do want to do video editing, I would suggest looking at the iPad Pro with LumaFusion. Nothing beats that as of right now. So I guess the question is, who is this tablet for? Well, I gotta say, it's for people who like the Samsung ecosystem. It's for, you know, Android-oriented students. The built-in pen, once again, is a really nice feature. And it's also for that more relaxed tablet user who wants to, you know, watch videos and play games, read a book, or maybe jot down a quick note or two. Like I said in my Tab S6 versus iPad Pro video, this is the best Android tablet on the market right now, hands down, in regard to all of its features, build quality, display performance, battery life, etc. And so far, I have genuinely enjoyed my experience with this, with One UI and all the features that it comes with, and I cannot recommend this enough if you are in the market for an Android tablet right now. And that about wraps things up here. Once again, I'd really appreciate it if you leave a like on this video, comment if you have any questions, suggestions, or opinions, and subscribe for more content like this. Let me know if there's any more Tab S6 content you want me to push, whether it's a comparison or a test of some kind. And as always, I'm Noah, and I will catch you all in the next one.